Republicans blocked the Buffett rule. Now they have their own tax proposal, cutting small business taxes by 20%. One Democrats are promising to oppose. Chief Washington correspondent Peter Cook is standing by with the man behind the Republican plan, House Majority Leader Eric Cantor. Peter, take it away.
Eric, thanks very much. I am joined here by House Majority Leader Eric Cantor. Virginia, thank you for the time. Appreciate it. And we've got taxes this week, not only in the Senate, but here in the House as well. Tomorrow, your proposal, 20% tax cut for small businesses. Your response to the Buffett plan, is it a political response to the Buffett rule?
No, listen, I think what you're going to see is a focus in the House continued week by week on the growth of small business. That's how we can get this economy going again. And, you know, we're in tax week in America. People have just submitted their tax reform, payments to the government, and understand that, you know, it's tough. It is really tough out there for small businesses to continue, and we want to help them. We want to help them grow. And if you look at what the small business tax cut is about, it's the first step towards a pro-growth policy. Steve Forbes is out today talking about the need for this small business tax cut to give small businesses a shot in the arm as we work our way towards a larger tax reform that is pro-growth to get the economy going again.
The critics, and you know Democrats have already criticized this proposal. They say the way it's written right now, it's not necessarily the laundromat down the street that might benefit from this. It's also law firms, hedge funds, even professional sports teams. It's so broad that really successful firms are going to benefit most from this tax cut.
I think that is an inaccurate allegation about the bill. I mean, what the bill does is it says to the small business owner, you're going to be able to keep 20% more of your money to plow back into your business to invest and grow. And we actually have safeguards in there so there can't be any abuse. The limit is 50% of wage income is a limit for the 20% tax cut. So there's not that potential for abuse, but it sends a signal to small business men and women that we're actually going to be on their side. If we want to get the economy growing again, you don't raise taxes. And if it's a question of fairness, why aren't you lowering taxes for the middle class if you think that they pay too high of a tax rather than attempting to raise taxes on somebody else? We're about trying to lower taxes to create jobs, and that's exactly what this bill does.
A $46 billion price tag. What signal does it send the markets that you're not paying for this? This is obviously a country with serious deficit issues right now.
Well, Peter, we are, because this tax proposal falls within the context of our budget, and we have prescribed for the ability to bring down and manage down the debt and deficit within our budget, and we have identified areas that we want to cut that go right to the real problem in Washington, which are unfunded obligations under the entitlement programs. That's where your problem is, and that's where I think the people in the country want to see us go, is to attack the real problem, not just keep taking more money from them and not solving the problem.
The Buffett rule was blocked by Republicans in the Senate. You look at polling right now, the fairness issue, question of fairness. Americans right now, 60% in a Gallup survey back the Buffett rule. Are you guys on the wrong side of this divide?
I think what people would say is they would back a tax cut for the middle class, like the small business tax cut, much more than they would support a tax hike. We want more fairness in the tax code. Ultimately, I think all of us want to see comprehensive tax reform to bring down rates, to broaden the base, to get rid of some of the loopholes, to get out of the business of picking winners and losers. And that's what this bill does. It says to all small businesses with 499 employees or less, we're going to help you finally let Washington start looking to small businesses to grow the economy and not just rely on Washington to do so.
What about the big issue down the road? Tax-mageddon, some are calling it, the expiration of the Bush tax cuts. Everyone says there's no way Congress can deal with this issue before the election, yet there are folks out in the markets wondering exactly when will this get done. There's uncertainty out there. Is there any chance that you and this president could sit down and work out even a temporary deal, getting us into 2013 sooner rather than later?
Well, we are taking action in the House. Chairman Dave Camp of the Ways and Means Committee is hard at work formulating a plan to try and make sure we don't see the largest tax increase in American history. And that's what the country is facing, and frankly, that is part of the stakes of this election, because there's clearly been a real divide on the issue of taxes between the majority in the House and the president. And the president believes he ought to raise taxes right now in a struggling economy, and raise taxes and not actually fix the problem of the debt and deficit. And we obviously take a much different approach.
So no deal before Election Day?
Well, listen, we're always looking to see how we can make sure taxes don't go up on people. We don't believe Washington's got a revenue problem. We believe it's got a spending problem. And if the other side and the president are so intent in wanting to raise taxes in this economy in this week, then let them come down to the table and tell us how we're going to fix the problem once and for all so that increased taxes doesn't necessarily mean throwing good money after bad, because that's what they're advocating.
All right, I'd hope to ask you a few other questions. Tight on time. The House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, this vote tomorrow on the floor, Eric. This bill, this small business tax cut on the House floor tomorrow.
Terrific stuff, Peter. Thanks very much. Our chief Washington correspondent, Peter Cook, with House Majority Leader Eric Cantor. We're back on the Inside Track 2 minutes from now. Don't go away.